What's up, folks? Casual Dad here with my follow-up, my episode 2 of my Road to Adepticon, the X-Wing World Championship. And I've just gone ahead and whipped up a TTS setup, Tabletop Simulator setup with both of my lists. These are both the lists that I'm kind of ironing out, and I want to pick one of the two I'm settling in on this. I want a Scum list and a Rebel list that I'm going to practice in my practice games to understand both factions and see which one I want to bring, and just to get better at both. On the Rebel side, I do have a Han list. I subbed out I subbed out Luke and Chopper VCX for Tycho A-Wing, Wedge A-Wing, Bodica Fang, and then kind of the pretty typical upgrades on those. Chosen to be pretty violent with both, especially Wedge with Marksmanship and Predator, Tycho with Enduring, Elusive, and HLC, and then I've gone heavy maneuverability on Sabine, and we'll see how that goes. And then on the Scum side, I've kept Dr. Aphra basically unchanged. I've thrown in Dace Bonearm with Hondo Onaka Crew, Fearless, and of course the title. I've got Bosk Z95 in there. I've got CAD with a bunch of cannons, and then I've got Dirge with the proton cannons, and we will see all of these in play. We're going to go ahead and do Assault on the Satellite Array, the switch flipping or the action-based one where you have to flip these objectives, and then they stay flipped until someone else unflips them. That's one I wanted to pick for both of these because they're supposedly very action-dependent, and flipping objectives is challenging for them to do without taking significant cost. And because this is one where both lists should be fairly table control heavy, where they both are seeking to overwhelm not just in combat, but also on objectives. That's kind of the way I built these. So without further ado, I want to go fairly quickly and not waste too much time on this. We're going to go ahead and roll our road roll, because we have our objectives out, we've got our obstacles out. It keeps happening. So Rebels just got 1 crit, and then Scum got a crit and a hit, so Scum got it. So our overlap, we've got a initiative 3, 3 4s, and a 5. So the Scum 3 is going to go first, because then on the Rebel side I do have a 3 as well. So Scum 3, Dr. Aphra. Convenient and straightforward. Now, I got cheeky in my last game and didn't reinforce with Aphra, so you can freaking bet that we're going to reinforce this time. So reinforce. There we go. Reinforce in the front, and that's done. And then we'll do Sabine A-Wing, who did just a 1 straight. And then we get to the 4s, and Scum went first, so we're going to go ahead and do CAD. Did a 4 straight, and he will focus. Well, actually, he's going to go ahead and do the insurance lock. We'll take a target lock on this cloud right here. And then Dace, going to do a 1 straight, and he will focus. He gets to keep those with that multi-crow title. Then we've got Bosk, move 1 straight, and he will also focus. Just cut, well, you know what? He's going to do the same. He's going to do the insurance target lock. I want to get in the habit of this because what that does is it protects you from jam. So if you're jammed, you have a token already that you can lose, so you don't actually suffer a penalty for being jammed and can then still take an action later in that turn. So that is good. Okay, that was my Scum 4s. And then my Rebel 4s, we've got Bodica. Bloop. Focus, take the safe choice. Then we have Wedge. 2 straight and focus. And then Scum 5 first. And he is going to boost. You'd think I would know which button is which by now. I've played this quite a bit. And then we've got Tycho. 2 straight. Sweet. No bump. Excellent. I was a little concerned of whether or not that leapfrog would fit. And then we have Han. The initiative 6 moving last. Go there, and he will also focus. It's not, I'm in the master game mode here. I'm not actually playing as either team player so that I can use both ships and such. And it's not letting me rotate Han Solo's arc. Oh, there it is. Hang on. There we go. Okay, so left, right. So should be the side bow tie. And Dace's turret should be rotating to the right. So he's got coverage there. Now that does kind of telegraph where Dace is going to be pointing, but it also saves me actions later. So it's, do I want to be tricky, or do I want to actually have things in the right place when I want them? This, if you haven't tried it, the Tabletop Simulator mod for X-Wing miniatures is just incredible. They've done such a good job with this. But anyway, enough with that. So no objectives scored in round 1. We didn't do any objective actions. No combat in round 1, so most of these tokens are gone. That goes away. That goes away. And Sabine didn't do an action. All right. And then we'll flip our dials. And I've got 12 of these out, so I can just chuck these off the table whenever a turn ends. I'll flip. Flip, 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 flip. Okay. So just to kind of discuss this real quick, so I did roll... Scum got initiative for the first turn. I went ahead and started placing these large rocks across the middle to make it difficult for Han to move in there. I was thinking that I would have better maneuverability in these rocks, which is true for this list against Han, but less true with these... The 4 rebel ships are going to benefit a lot more from these rocks than my ships might, and I'm a little worried about where Afra is going to be. But Han and Afra both kind of want the same things maneuver-wise. They want wide lanes and big places they can go. This may not be the right play for where I want to put obstacles, but that's something I'm working on. We'll see. So Han is kind of trapped in a corner, which is the intention when I put those rocks over there as the Scum player. And then I've got a deep backfield objective for Scum, and then a slightly less deep one for Rebels, just because the TIE Fighter doesn't stay in one place quite as effectively. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and do dials. Now here's the thought too. So Afra's on the far right. She's going to slowly arc in across the board and just lay into the board across the way. Cad and Dirge are going to kind of come mix it up in the middle, supported by Dace. And Bosk is going to focus just on doing objectives and taking pot shots where he can. Now on the Rebel side, similar story. Sabine also is an objective monkey. The job there is just to focus on scoring those objective points. Tycho is supposed to be dodgy but murdery. He's hopefully a heavy damage dealer in this list. Boudica, I want to keep relatively close to my A-Wings, so he's got the same targets as the A-Wings do for that bonus attack. There's no range on the bonus attack, so it's mostly just keeping a gun pointed at the ship most likely to shoot. So we'll see about that. And then Han is supposed to shark around and kind of deal with the board, but eyeing that Dirge doesn't really want to tangle with that. It's just one ship, but that ship does have proton cannons. So if those bullseyes are lined up, that could really sink Han fairly quickly, sink some damage into him quickly, which is the hope of the Scum player. We'll see. But now looking at this as the Scum player, my goal, the way I've set this up, and I did deploy most of my ships first, so I deployed most of my ships before I did. The thing here I'm a little concerned about is if I am not able to catch Han, I do have to finish off these A-Wings, which that's going to be a test of the durability of the A-Wings and also the offense of my Scum list to see if it can deal with that many high evade ships. So we'll see. Okay, so I wanted to go ahead and cover that before I do any more dials. So a lot of the time I'll think, where is my really big ship going to go? He's going to move here. He's initiative 6, so we will be moving last. And then Sabine over here is just going to do the one hard to stay close to the objective. Tycho, where are you going to go, buddy? I don't want him to get too deep, but I also want to make sure I get past these rocks and take that objective. So you go 3 straight. Boudica, I want to keep a little bit more in the rocks. If he does a 2 straight, that puts him just shy of passing this rock and a little bit behind this one, which limits his left turn moves, but does open him up to take a flank on Dirge. We'll just go ahead and see. Because if I go any deeper, it may be too close to the objective, and I want to set him up to punish Cad in the middle here. And then Wedge, we're going to go ahead and pop in. So he's going to do a slightly faster maneuver and expect to boost. Excuse me. It is turn 2, so I do have to keep that in mind, that I will be able to do objective actions. And this is a tricky spot for Wedge, because he will be moving before Dirge, and I can either use my action to do an action, and either get out of an arc, go for a block, or I can take the objective. Wedge is only 3 points, so if I get 3 points out of that objective, that will make up his points. And it's unlikely that Dirge can one-shot him, but not totally out of the question, so we'll see. Now, on the Scum side, I want to set up Dirge to do exactly that, and force the choice either to take down Wedge or challenge him on the objective. And then with Cad, going to kind of fly it safe here. There's not that much damage pointed at me yet until Han gets into the mix, and he's still out of range for the moment. We'll see how that goes. Once that trick shot starts triggering, that could be an issue real quick. And Bosk is going to do the same as Sabine, sort of. He's going to do it too hard. Dace is going to do that 1 straight to stay mostly out of the fight. And Afra kind of has to start turning in. Now we're going to go straight again. I think, well, it's a 3 hard is my turn, so I really do have to start banking in. This rock is in a really unfortunate spot. It's exactly where I don't want it to be for Afra's move, and that was placed by me as the rebel player, so that works out. Well done. All right, we are set. Okay, road roll. Roady road. I'm not going to play the full time, so I didn't set a timer on this. Hit crit for the rebels. And I'm saying road is random order after, random order after dials to choose who goes first. So rebels have it. Rebels will go first. So Sabine is going to be the first to move. It was funny. I really got into this during the pandemic when playing in person wasn't really an option. And there are moments in this game where you get caught up and Tabletop Simulator where you legit forget that this isn't playing on a board. Sabine did that one hard, where I knew it was coming, and she will claim the objective. So we'll go ahead and flip it. Gotta figure out markers for that. So this is going to be claimed. Use an energy token for rebels. And then next up is going to be Afra. Bloop, does that one bank. And again, lesson learned, reinforce. Always, always reinforce. Now she's pointed directly at that rock, so she's going to have to bank one way or the other to get around it. I want to avoid moves exactly like that. So looking at the setup already, that's something I would watch for, and I probably would have had her turn earlier, so do a bank on that first move, which broadcasts where she's going to be a little bit more, but does avoid this situation I'm in right now, where I have to commit to a direction quickly. So there's that, and then our 4s. I'm going to go ahead and do Boudica first. Do the 2 straight, and we're just going to check range on this. No valid targets at range 1, okay. So he will focus. And then we've got Wedge. Now here's the tricky one. So Wedge is going to go ahead and claim. That is a gamble, but we'll see how it works out. It may be the clincher that actually decides the game, but objectives are very important. And he's got a guarantee to get the objective, not a guarantee to die, or a guarantee to get a kill. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then that is my 4s. So then scum 4s. We've got Bosk. Well, we're going to go ahead and move Cad first. Oops. Did the 2 straight. Did the 2 straight. What you going to do, buddy? And he's going to go ahead and focus. To see what Tycho does, which I know what Tycho's going to do, but technically, Cad doesn't. And Bosk is going to pop over here, and he will claim, and this is where I need to find. We'll go ahead and use the. Oh no. Weird giant token. I'm going to go ahead and use this. Yeah, critical hit. So that'll be the scum. Yeah, that works. Sweet. Okay. And then Dace did that 1 straight, and he will now claim this one. I probably could have had Cad claim that middle objective, but it's a close one on the range. So that's my 4s, and now it is Rebels won it, so Tycho first. Getting in there, buddy. And here's the thing. So with Tycho, he's initiative 5. I expect him to be moving after most opponents. And here, let's see. Vector thrusters. After you perform an action, you may perform a red boost action, which Tycho loves because he can act with stress. So I know where Cad is. I should be able to attempt a target lock. Got Cad. So Tycho is going to lock on Cad. And then we'll do that red boost. And we'll boost to the right to attempt to line up a bullseye on Cad. That is a stress. And then we've got Dirge, the scum, initiative 5. Does that 1 bank. He's also hoping to line up a bullseye, which I believe I have on Wedge, so he's going to move that target lock. Oh, he didn't take one. Well, he's going to take a target lock. And that could be curtains for Wedge, so we'll see just how well this goes. And this is unfortunate too, looking at this deployment. So I've got Boudica in here who can shoot back at attackers if they attack my friendlies, but only if he has a shot. And right now he's not lined up to have that shot on Dirge. So that was a mistaken deployment on Rebels again too. Live and learn. That's why we're practicing. Okay. And then that, I believe, is that. And then Rebels won it, so Rebels... Oh, Han. Ah. Okay, and then Han is going to go ahead and boost, because he's out of the game and really does kind of need to get into it. And this is... Dirge has another target, so we've got this golden opportunity for Han to flank around beside Dirge. And I am hoping that folks will engage with this and I can get some commentary on my play, because I would love to see some notes on what I'm doing wrong here. And that is a red boost, so I don't have engine upgrade on there, which is something I'm also considering. But I do have trick shot, which is nice. So, okay, so that is our action. So combat, we're going to go ahead and check Han's firing arcs. I don't think he has a shot, but we'll see. No, he doesn't. No front arc weapon either, so it doesn't have anything. So it falls to Tycho. What you got, Tycho? See how murdery this gets. Bloop. Got bullseye on Cad with the target lock. Yeah, so he's going to go ahead and throw his HLC. That 4-die heavy laser cannon on Cad. Just does that, right? Yeah. Yeah. And then defensive tech. Not a bad roll. I should have focused instead of target locked, but we'll go ahead and spend the lock. That would have been bad. Oof. And then because it's heavy laser cannon, that does change this to a hit. Three. The number 3 is a hit. So that's 4 hits against Cad. Brutal. And it's range 2, if I saw that correctly. Yeah, just by a hair in range 2. So Cad will throw his 2 evade dice. Evade both. Very nice, buddy. But that's still 2 hits. And so Cad has shields down. Now that's our initiative 5s. So next up is going to be Dirge. We'll see if he also lined up the bullseye and can return fire. It's pretty funny playing against yourself. You realize that suddenly you have a very distinct playstyle, and when both of your lists do it, it's just it's going to be a bit of a bloodbath here. So we're going to do bullseye. Got it. And we'll check range on that as well. I believe, again, that is range 2. Yep, range 2 with the lock and no other... I believe there's a passive mod on the proton cannon. I'll check that in a sec. So we'll spend both charges of proton cannon to fire at once. That is also 4 attack dice. I don't really want to use the glitter dice. Those seem harder to read. Okay. Now this is a really powerful attack from Dirge, with the downside being you can only shoot it every other turn. Okay? That looks familiar. So we got 2 hits, and then we got the target lock. Okay, so we got 3 hits, and then proton cannons say... Spend 2, change 1 eyeball or hit result to a crit result. Oh, boy, that's good. Okay, I should have just rerolled 1. So this is a crit. So it's very similar to the roll that Tycho got. We'll see if Wedge can do as well on defense as Cad did. Does also have shields and has 3 evade dice. And 2 evade, so that's still a hit and a crit, but that's both shields. So Wedge is also shields down. Okay, very super effective. All right, now that is our 5s. So we're going to go ahead and go on to our 4s. Rebels had initiative, so that's going to be... And so that, again, doesn't trigger on Boudica. And then it is Wedge's turn. Wedge is going to go ahead and take the pot shot on Cad. We'll see if we can bring him down here. Well, we'll actually check range. I should see that first. What you got, Wedge? Get a little sweet revenge here. And all of his offensive abilities are bullseye. Well, marksmanship isn't. Alright, we got a range 3 shot on Cad with no mods, which is not great. Dirge did spend the lock. But, so we're throwing 2 dice against 3 on Cad. He's got no defensive mods, but no offensive mods either. 1 hit. Cad's throwing 3 dice because of the extra range. Ooh, 2 eyeballs. And he has a focus, so he will spend the focus. Yeah, I mean, we could spend it or not spend it. So I could save it because I am about to get shot by Boudica as well. Probably twice. You know what? Actually, that is a good point. He's going to take 2 shots from Boudica, so I might as well change it. Just keep it. So that is 2 hull. Ooh. I may regret that here. Okay, so here's the thought process too. No, that's not worth it. I will go ahead and... Oh, man, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But we're going to do it. Okay. And now that was wedge, so now Boudica is going to shoot first. Yeah, so we'll keep that focus. Boudica does have a mod. So Boudica's throwing 3 dice on CAD. It's my Fang Fighter here. Actually, let me check that range, because that might be range 2. It is range 3. Okay, so CAD still gets 3 evade dice on this one. And Boudica is going to go ahead and roll those 3 dice. Oh man, system phase. I don't think I was in range in system phase. But I got to remember that Boudica has Mandalorian optics, so can take target locks. Free target locks in the system phase. Okay, so rolled a hit and 2 eyeballs, right? I think I rolled that. Anyway, we'll see if I did. We'll spend the focus. Yeah, okay. We'll spend that focus to convert those eyeballs. So CAD is now facing 3 hits. It is range 3, so he gets the extra evade die. Okay. So that's another hit. I really want that focus. Yeah, but I'm going to go ahead and spend it, and I should have last time, so I take 1 extra hit than I would have. But that's 2 evades against 3 hits. Had I spent the focus on the first attack, then I would have saved, I believe, both hits, so I'd only take 1 damage instead of the 3 I've taken, so that's not great. So he's on 2. And one of the things I was thinking wrong is that Boudica gets a bonus attack, but Boudica only gets a bonus attack if I shoot someone else. So, okay, and now it is CAD's turn to turn this around. He's going to go ahead and shoot back at Boudica. We'll check his arc. It says no, the chat says no valid targets in arc, which I'm pretty sure it does. We're going to check that bullseye and see what the chat tells me on this one. No valid targets, okay. I don't know, chat. This would be a judge call, see that, because that sure looks like Eclipse it. But anyway, so no HLC. So we've got either primary attack or ion cannon. I will opt for the ion cannon because it throws 3 dice. Ion cannon against Boudica. And 1 hit, and I sure would have liked that eyeball. It is range 3, so Boudica gets 4 evade dice. And gets 1 evade, which is all he needed. So that is nothing there. And then it goes on to Sabine has no shot. Tycho already shot, so we're going into my... Let's see if Dace has a shot. I don't think he does. No. Okay, so Dace doesn't have a shot, so then we'll go into 3s. So we'll look at Afra, who does have a shot. So honor engagement, Afra is going to do a focus action with Han Gunner, which is stress. So it is red. And then because she took a stress, she can use Rook Crew to also take a strain. So now she's got a focus and can passive mod dice. So we're throwing, let's check that again. We're throwing 3 dice with heavy mods. It is obstructed. I don't know why it's saying no valid targets. I think it's just because I'm playing against myself here. I would say that since this is basically perpendicular to the rock, I can choose this as my closest point, and that is unobstructed. That also might be a judge call, but it looks pretty clear to me here. So it's going to be range 3, 3 dice on Tycho's 4. No mods, no defensive mods on Tycho, so we'll see how this goes. So 3 dice. And I can just use Rook for that. So let's read Rook real quick. Just make sure I know what I'm doing here. While you perform an attack, if you are strained, you may change one of your blank or eyeball results to a hit. So we can just change this to a hit. So 2 hits and a crit against Tycho with those 4 evade dice. Rolled 1 evade, so that's a hit and a crit, which would be a shields down, and there's nothing you can do about it. Dun, dun, dun. And I didn't even have to spend any mods with Afra. This build is talked about as printing hits. It's definitely true. It's pretty phenomenal. Okay, so again, Sabine doesn't have a shot. Nobody else has a shot, so that is it. So end of this round, Scum has 2 objectives. And then Rebels have 2 objectives. So we get 2 points each going into this. Somebody check me if I got that number wrong. And we'll keep going a little bit. So I'm only going to play a couple turns. I don't want to play a ton. I'm getting an idea, just sort of getting a feel for how these fly. I want to get at least a scrum or 2 turn in. Just to get a sense for how things can get caught. And this again is where I have to get weird for Afra. So one thing Han could have done is go straight for Afra. That would have been a huge mistake. Focus and reinforce go away. That focus stays. Everything else stays. Okay. Somebody has to be the nutcase who takes this objective in the middle. I don't think anyone really wants to do it. Ooh, I got an idea. Okay. Alright, so we don't know how Road is going to go. This is now going into turn 3. So we've completed turn 2. And just looking at this. So this is where objectives become kind of a little bit less of a concern. But we'll see. Okay, we're going to do Afra first, because Afra's options are limited, so I'm going to go ahead and set where she's going to go. So she's going to do that bank to avoid the rock, which does limit Dace's options quite a bit, but he can just do kind of a hard... He can do a hard turn to hopefully get away from her. She should end up about here. He'll end up about here. He does have the side arc out. So I don't know that anything else would fit, and that may still even be a bump, and I don't want him to go too fast. Oh, what am I doing? Well, yeah, we're going to go ahead and do this because Tycho probably has to get out of dodge, and I want to keep that front arc on Tycho. Now, I can move Cad or Bosk in either order, so I can move Cad first so that Bosk can get in there. I'm going to go ahead and have Bosk move in quickly and see if he can grab that objective. And that's probably going to be a 4 straight. Just checking the template length. That is pushing it. We'll try it. Okay, excuse me. And then, so that's Afra and Bosk and Dace. Cad is really, really hurt right now, so he's going to try to get out of here. I'm not clear on exactly how he can do that, though. So that's important to note. So you want to keep your movement lanes open with your rogues, and not put them in exposed positions like this. But he does also have Dead Man Switch, so he could just go right in there and gum up the works and see what happens. I have an idea. Alright, we'll see how this goes. One of the things about Flying Scum is you get all the weird, tricky stuff, which I really, really enjoy. So, Dirge is going to fold back in. We're basically going all in on everything except Han, and we'll see if we can catch him on the far side of the board. That may end up being a mistake, but we'll see how it goes. Speaking of Han, and now I like to build things around the ship that has the fewest options and or moves the last. You want to make sure to think of first. So here, I'm going to have Han do kind of a slow roll around the outside of this rock, which should comfortably keep him in the combat. Does not remove the stress, though. Now, looking at this, I'm pretty sure if I do a straight, I'll clip that rock. Unless I do a fairly fast straight, which I can do. Let's go ahead and go fast. Why not? There are a lot of reasons why not, but I'm going to do it anyway. So I have to go fast enough to clear this rock, and I have to make sure Wedge moves out of the way. Now, Tycho is stressed. Let's take a look at that dial. So these are the options you can take, and he can still do actions even while stressed. Yeah, actions, but he can't do red moves even while stressed. So that's something I need to be very clear that I remember, because his abilities is really, really good, but there is a major downside in that you can't do those red maneuvers, which seriously limits my options here. So I want to clear that stress. But I don't want to turn in And my blues are pretty limited, so I'm going to go ahead and pop on out of there and have him kind of circle back around and maybe get this backfield objective. Boudica, I'm going to move as slowly as I can and keep guns on to go ahead and trigger those bonus shots. And then Wedge is also not in good shape. We're going to get cheeky. He's going to do a sloop and see if that keeps me involved in the game without having guns from Dirge on me too much. And then Sabine can actually get into the game a bit here, and she can fly over rocks without penalty because she is... No, she can't. She's not that kind of TIE fighter. But what she can do is take a booster barrel roll action before she takes her move. So I can do a 2 straight, but have her barrel roll first. So she goes between those rocks instead of directly over them. Okay, so I believe we're all set. Yeah, should be all set. Okay, so now this is going to be Rebels. 2 hits, and then we have Scum. Hit crit. Okay, so Scum gets it first again. System phase. Boudica is going to go ahead and use a charge of Optics to get a target lock on Cad and really ruin his day. Now, one thing I did want to mention here is I had a build of Dirge that included false transponder code, so when he got that lock on Tycho, or on Wedge, excuse me, that would have popped off his token. I don't remember if Wedge had a token, though, so it may not matter. Anyway, so there is that. So now Scum won the roll-off, so it's Afra first. I don't think I have any system phase stuff for Scum. Gonna do a blue move, which will take off both of these. Oh, nice. That slots right in there, and as they're pointed at everything I could want her to be pointed at. She will, of course, reinforce, because that's what you do. And hopefully everything else fits. And then it is Sabine. As I said, she's going to do that barrel roll before moving. Make sure I have that right. Yeah, before you activate, you may perform a boost or barrel roll action. And TIEs don't even have a boost, so that is really good. And we're going to roll to the left and forward. Put that there. And then she did a 2 straight. And then we'll focus. There's my 3s. Scum won the roll off. Let's go ahead and do Dace. That one back, the one back isn't going to fit. The 2 hard would have. Oh, it did fit. Look at that. Oof, man, that's great. Okay, and this is where things come into play. We're going to go ahead and Hondo to remove Bosk's lock. So we'll jam Bosk, and that removes his target lock. And then I will coordinate Cad to cloak, because he has a red cloak from the title. And that is red, I believe, yes. Yes. So it does stress him. And now I'm really hoping I dialed in a blue maneuver with Cad, so let's go ahead and see what I did. Cad. 2 straight. Excellent. It is blue, clears the stress, and he will then, he is cloaked, so he has that defensive tech. He's going to go ahead and take the opportunity to take this objective, which puts Rebels in a really unfortunate spot, which is the goal. So that was the last 4 is going to be Bosk. He's going to pop right on in here. Nowhere near close enough to take the center objective, so he will focus. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And that cloak really wants to be used. Okay. Now with Bosk, I could try to line up a bullseye, but since all of these ships are going to be moving, I don't know that I want to do that yet. So, see how this goes. Okay, that was my 4s, so then the Rebel 4s. Boudica, probably bumped. Did you bump, buddy? That is not a bump. Wow, okay. Man, but he's got Okay, we've got Concordia, Face Off, and Predator in here. Yikes. Okay. But he's going to go ahead and focus. This is where I really, really like clan training on these guys, because this is a moment where I could do something like a barrel roll or a boost or something, or I could even claim the objective, and then on my activation I could get a red focus token. Now that's a risk though, because he's only initiative 4. That gets better with higher initiative, but still it gives him a focus token for offense even if he takes a non-focus action. So, yeah. Okay, and then next we have Wedge. Bloop. Nice. It's perfect, which is the stress. But this is one of the things. I wanted to fly an A-Wing, and really wanted to fly a couple A-Wings, because I love A-Wings. Tycho's 5k looks a lot worse now with Bosk there. He's going to get blowed up. Okay, but we're looking at, speaking of, we're doing our 5, so let's see. Dirge, what do you got? Did a 1 bank. Ooh, and a bump, which is could be a lot worse in this situation. He will stress for the focus. These things are about to get real scary with Han coming around that corner. Oh, I do regain a charge on my proton cannons that can be fired every other turn. And then Tycho. Did a 5 straight. Oh yeah, it wasn't a K turn, of course. But it's a bump. And he kind of has to stress focus. And it is a focus. Oh, here's a thing. While you perform actions, you may perform actions even while stressed. And after I perform an action, you may perform a red boost action. I'm going to attempt that boost. Because the focus that you get after bumping is an action. Oh, heck yeah, okay. But that is red, so I believe now he has 2 stress tokens. Yes, okay. Still, that puts him in a much safer place, so we feel good about that. Okay, so that was the Rebel 5, so now we're on to Rebel Han. Did that 3 straight. Come on, you'll claim things. Which clears the stress. Betting we don't have a shot on Dirge. Pretty sure Cad is hosed here, but just in case, Han's going to keep that and he's going to do the double focus. Let's see that Bistan thing go. Probably have a shot on Bosk. Okay. And then that is everyone. So Scum won the roll-off, but Han goes first, because Han shoots first. We'll check the bow tie. This is where it's going to get crazy. So we got the bow tie. Ooh, we got a range 2 on Cad, and we have a range 3 on Bosk. We don't have Dirge. Okay. He's going to take the range 2 on Cad. Sorry. I don't think it's obstructed. Closest point is going to be somewhere in the middle here. So no trick shot. So just 3 dice on Cad's 2. Oh, excuse me, on Cad's 4 because he's cloaked. Excellent. We got a hit, an eyeball, and a blank. We'll go ahead and spend one of the focuses to get that 2 hits. We're not going to Han Mulligan that because it was not a bad roll. I wonder what the stats are on that. But anyway, we'll take it. Cad is going to throw his roll his 4 dice, which is a lot, but he doesn't have any mods on those. And he made 2 evades. I had to check the chat here to make sure I was reading that correctly. So he's fine. So then Bistan triggers, and then Han is going to throw 3 dice on Bosk. That one, I believe, is obstructed. Let me check that range again, and the chat should tell me. Oh, it's not going to mark it. Okay. Closest point to closest point. It's probably not obstructed either. Okay, we're going to go ahead and say that's unobstructed too. So 3 dice on 3. This is Han's attack on Bosk. Ooh, 2 hits. And then Bosk will get 3 evade dice for being at range 3. Oh, good job, buddy. All right. Bosk lives. So that was the 2 attacks from Han at initiative 6. Scum 1. So next up we're looking at Dirge. So we've got the shot on Boudica. We've got a range 2 shot on Han. Yeah, range 2 shot on Han. Range 3 shot on Boudica with a focus. We're going to go ahead and take the range 2 shot on Han. It's only 2 dice against his 1, but yeah, we'll do it. Here's the 2 because the rogue only has... Ooh. Yeah, that's probably the only shot we're going to take. So we're going to go ahead and split that. 2 hits on Han. Han's got 1 evade. He is... Wow, okay. So 1 shield. Of which the Falcon has many. But hey, gotta start somewhere. Okay, so that was that, and then... What else we got on these guys? Contraband Fearless. Love it. Okay, so that was my 5. Now it is the Rebel 5. Does not have a shot. And then, so it's going to be Scum 4s. So we're going to go ahead and have Bosk take the first shot here. And the reason being, it's not as good of a shot. If I roll hot, there's a chance I can get Boudica to spend his focus. He does not get Concordia face-off because it's range 2. So Bosk, 2 dice against Boudica's 3. Nice. And we rolled a crit, which will trigger Bosk's ability if this goes through to do an additional hit. Okay, so now Boudica gets 3 evade for being range 2. Ooh, 1 evade. So that is a single crit. Nothing Boudica can do about it, I think. Oh no, hang on, we got Beskar. Ooh, gross. Gross. Beskar. But that'll be both charges. No, it's 1 hit. So here's the thing. I can either spend it completely to get rid of that crit entirely, or I can spend 1 to make it a hit and then save the crit mod later. Since it's only 1 hit, I'm going to go ahead and save it. I may regret that when there's a moment where I need to cancel a crit later, but then I wouldn't have this at all. So, yeah, sorry. So Boudica takes a single hit, which that negates Bosk's ability to do an additional damage, which is a bummer. But hey, Bosk, good shot. All right, and then next we have Cad, who is cloaked, so he can't shoot. And then we have Dace. And that actually is something I wasn't considering when I chose who to shoot with first. So Dace's only shot... Ooh, I've got a range 2 on Tycho, which would tempt a shot from Boudica. Not a 2, it's still range 3. Tycho has shields down. Does have a focus token. Boudica has... Yeah, they're about the same. Boudica's got 3 hit points left. Tycho has 2. Dace is going to take the shot on Tycho to protect the objective. That's what we're thinking about. Okay. So Afra's best shot is still against Boudica as well. We're going to take the shot on Tycho. I'm going to assume that that is not obstructed, because again, closest point is this corner to here. So Dace is throwing 3 dice with a focus against 4 from Tycho. Also with a focus. I also forgot that Tycho has elusive. Gross, 1 hit. Any of the mods? No. Okay. And so Tycho has 4 evade dice. And comfortably made it. Okay. So that was Dace. And now it's going to be the turn of the Rebel 4s. Boudica is going to go ahead and take that range 1 on Cad with target lock and focus. Doesn't have Fearless because that's a scum only thing. Okay. I will use the... Oh, that was an eyeball. There we go. And then I'll use the target lock. Okay, and then we'll spend the focus. 4 hits on a cloaked Cad. That also loses him the target lock because I spent it. Cad is rolling 4 dice because of that cloak. Do love a good cloak. So 2 evades, but that still is enough to take Cad down to his 5 hull. That's exactly 2 hull. So we got exact change on Cad. We'll check that range 1. Because that will trigger Dead Man Switch. Oh! And that does catch Bosk. So Bosk will lose his shield and Boudica will take an additional damage. Ooh, hang on. Is it a crit? No, just 1 damage. After you are destroyed, each other ship at range 0 to 1 suffers 1 damage. So Boudica, Bosk loses a shield, Boudica loses another hull. Which puts us in an interesting position as we get to our final attack. Which is going to be Afra. Actually, let me check Boudica here. Okay. Now here's the thing I gotta remember. So I missed the trigger. So Boudica did have the chance to take a bonus shot against Dace when Dace took the shot on Tycho. I don't know that I would have, because that would have given me a deplete, and I really wanted Boudica to finish off Cad. So we'll go ahead and we'll miss the trigger. I think that I may not have opted to take that shot, because it does mean you take a deplete, so you throw 1 less die in your follow-up attack if you haven't already attacked that turn. So, yeah. So now Afra, of course, will stress for the focus and the strain, and then get beat up by Sabine's tie. And then we'll take that, what I believe is a range 3, against Boudica, range 3. So we got 3 on 4. And we will spend the focus. And Rook lets us convert a blank. Love it. 3 hits against Boudica's 4 evade. But still, getting a little hairy here. Boudica could easily lose that last 2 hull, and did. So that's 1 evade. There's still 2 more hits. Yeah, Boudica's toast. Now this feels a little bit funny, because I just lost the rogue first, but this is why I don't fly Fang Fighters, is they're incredibly fragile. Now, here's a funny thing, though, is that Boudica would have survived had I double used Beskar. So, probably a mistake. Also a mistake rolling Boudica right in front of Afra like that. Okay, so final shot is going to be Sabine Tai shooting at Afra. A strained Afra through a rock. Yeah, this one is obstructed. Range 3, so Afra will be rolling 2 dice. Actually, 3 dice. 1 for the rock, 1 for range 3, and then 1 base. Excuse me, that was gross. Alright, and then throwing 2 dice. No trick shot on here or anything. Just has the focus token, so nothing fancy there. We'll go ahead and spend it, because why not? And then Afra will evade it. That is the dodgiest YV I've ever seen. And that is turn. So Cad is 4 points. Just a 1, 2, 3, 4. And then Rebels also got 2 objectives. 1, 2. And then Scum got 3 objectives. And also got 4 points for Boudica. So I really need to be careful with that ship. And that, I believe, puts our total Scum has 9. Maybe a tie, actually. No, Rebels have 8. So Scum is up by 1 point right now. Okay, we spent that token. It goes away. This goes away. These go away. And then we are back to dials. Now Rebels can easily turn this around, but this does look really good for Scum. This is some of the best I've played these lists, and I've gotten very lucky. Losing Cad was a bummer, but I did it kind of in a trade for both. Kind of knocking Tycho down, and then also taking out Boudica. But Han could go off any minute here, so I still really need to play to the objective and make sure to keep up the lead with Scum. So we'll go here. And here. And now first thing... Tycho's going to go for that objective. You can kind of assume that's going to happen with Scum, but A-Wings are also very, very fast, especially ones that can do multiple actions. So where Dace is going to see if he can finish him off. Doing it too hard. Hopefully that doesn't clip a rock, and hopefully it isn't too close. Afra's going to kind of go through this alley here. We're going like this. We'll do a bit of a grapevine through here. Bosk is going to go ahead and try to take that objective on the other side. Now this is risky, so we're doing a 3-bank to kind of pop in here, and then I hopefully will be able to pull a barrel roll over here. And then Dirge is in a weird spot. He's going to kind of slow roll it, because he can move slower than an A-Wing by a little bit. And Wedge, what are you going to do, buddy? Cad is dead. Okay, Rebels. Now Han needs to start doing something dramatic here. He's going to go ahead and keep kind of sharking around this and hopefully land some hits. And then Sabine. Did I lose a shield in Afra? No, she evaded. Where did this charge go from? Where's this? Okay, we just have a random charge. Alright. Sabine is going to go ahead and also kind of has to do some weird dancing around this rock to not end up in front of Afra. That may still put her in front of Afra. We'll see. Actually, wait a minute. She can boost before activating. If I boost to the left, though, because this rock is offset, I'll probably hit it. So I still have to stick with the move I just did. Okay. And then Wedge. Now I want Wedge to go after the center objective in a safe way, and there's really no safe thing for him to get. I don't think I should have slooped here. He may have been better off just jumping out. So we'll see how this goes. He's going to try to jockey with Dirge and kind of keep him in place here without exposing himself. Oh, God. All of these expose him. I'm going to do that. And then Tycho. It's going to be too hard to clear some of the stress. And then I already said Han. So he's going to do that. Okay. All right, there we go. And then we'll do Road. This is Rebels. Wow, good roll. And then Scum. Not as good roll. So Rebels have it. So the Rebel 3 is going to go first. That'll be Sabine. System phase, I don't believe I have anything. So Sabine. Going to pop there. And then this doesn't have a boost naturally. So, or a barrel roll. So she is going to focus. No target lock either. Man, these guys are no fun. Alright. Don't fly a lot of TIE fighters if you couldn't tell. So that's the Rebel 3, then the Scum 3. It's right in the middle there. Clear the stress, clear the strain. We'll need those later. As per usual, we'll reinforce. And then 4s, we've got Wedge. I'm going to call it after this turn because this is gone. Oh, we hit a thing. So clear stress, roll attack die. Eyeballs do nothing if I recall. Ooh, there's an ion. Oh no. So Wedge is now ioned, does not have an action step. That's not what you want. And then that will be the Scum 4s, because the Rebel 4 is dead. We'll do Bosk first. Popped all the way over there, which is kind of what I wanted. I'm going to attempt that barrel roll to the left and probably get blown up by Han. But next turn, I want to be able to take that rear field objective. See how this goes. And that's a red barrel roll, because, no, I have expert handling. Sweet. Sweet. The upgrades make sense. Okay. And then Dace. And Dace is going to hopefully chase Tycho. We're going to check range. And I don't know that I can do that before I declare an action. We're going to go ahead and do it, because this is practice. Okay, so I've got Tycho and Wedge. And Tycho can perform actions. Ooh, no, he can't, because he's stressed. No. Dace is going to go ahead and target lock Tycho, because I want him dead. So we have a lock focus on Tycho, who's probably just getting right up on his grill. And we have that rotated arc, and we have Fearless. If Tycho does what I expect him to do, which he will because I set his dial. And Dirge did not bump. Wow, that is, oof. Man, he's got his proton cannon back. But that doesn't trigger at range 1. So that clears the stress. What are you going to do, Dirge? The biggest thing Dirge needs to do is not die from Han coming around the corner here. So he's going to go ahead, but he wants to kill Wedge. So we're going to go ahead and target lock. Okay, that's all of those moves. So the final move is Tycho and then Han. Tycho did that. Clear one of the stress. And this is where that gas cloud is well placed. So, ooh, but also Afra's arc is well placed too. Because here's the thing. So Tycho can do something like take a focus and then barrel roll to the left to get out of Dace's main arc, which would help get some resistance out of there. But that would put him comfortably in Afra's arc. And you're toast, Tycho, you poor schmuck. But he is shooting first. I believe he's got bullseye. We'll check that in a minute. So he's going to go ahead and focus. And then we'll see where this goes. And I got to remember the guy's got elusive. Which actually, elusive is really bad on Tycho because he spends most of the game stressed. So you'll rarely ever get to do your red moves to recharge it unless you play to do that. And then you may kind of regret that. The other thing that I'm thinking about here is Tycho's almost certainly dead. He did most of the damage to Cad, so he's already gotten his points back. He could go ahead and claim this objective and then continue scoring things for the rest of the game, even though he's dead. That may be the smart play. I did say this is going to be objective focus. We're going to go ahead and do it. Now, Tycho is shooting before Dace, but Dace has full hit points, so it's extremely unlikely and practically impossible for Tycho to kill him. So, oh man, Tycho's got enduring. I gotta remember that. Yeah, which actually enduring's not a bad choice on a Fang. No, anyway, whatever. Okay, getting sleepy. We're gonna call it in a minute here. Tycho, Dace. Tycho is gonna claim the objective. I am almost certain I will regret that, but we'll see. Okay, so, and then Han. And he will double focus. Like you do. And then we get that shot from Han. Let's take a close look at this mess. Oh man. Such cool ships and models. Okay, so Han's going to take his range 1 shot on Dirge. Get 3 dice against 2. Oh, this is round 4, I think. So we've completed round 3. This is round 4. We had 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. So that's going to be 4 dice on 2. Against Dirge. So we got 2 of these. Yeah, we'll go ahead and spend 1. So 3 hits. And then Dirge has 2 evade. Ooh. Bummer, Dirge. But that's his first hit. Okay, so he took shields. And then Han is going to take his bonus shot against Bosk. We'll check that range. Range 2, comfortably. Okay, so range 2 against Bosk. We're going to throw 3 against his 2. 2 hits against Bosk's 2. Ooh, 1 evade. Good job, buddy. Because that would have killed... No, it's his other shield. Okay. Cool. All right. Good times. Han's damage. Yay. I mean, it is good. Over the course of a game, it's especially good, but just as always, never quite what you expect. Okay. So that was my 6. So now it's going to be 5s. Rebels... who won this? I believe Scum won this. But it's not going to really matter here. So Tycho is going to take the shot on Dace. That's range 1, so he's going to throw 3 dice. So we get a hit and an eyeball. What do you got on you, buddy? No offensive mods. I really am considering putting Predator on there. I figured with HLC I wasn't... Because the thing is, HLC is also Bullseye, so the only time it would matter is if you're in Bullseye at range 1, which you don't want to be, but sometimes will be, so win some, you lose some. Okay. So that's 1 hit against Dace. He's got 2 evade dice. And so he evaded 1. There it is. Okay. So that was Tycho. And then Dirge is going to take the range 1 on Wedge. So it's going to be 3 dice. Fearless, which will not trigger because I'm not facing the opponent. So 3 dice. Oh, 2 hits and a crit against Wedge's 3. Ah, I forgot Wedge's ability too. He reduces defender's agility and make him up. Ooh, Wedge got 1 evade, so that's a hit and a crit, which is a dead Wedge. Which the crit is damage sensor array. But Wedge is dead. He's about to be ion anyway. Okay. And then Dace is going to take the... Oh, no, that was my 5s. Yeah, okay. So then 4s. The only 4 that's left on the board is mine. The only are mine. So Dace is going to throw 4 dice at Tycho. Ooh. And we have the target lock, so we're going to go ahead and spend this one. Or spend the target lock on this one. Get another blank. So then we'll spend the focus. Oh, wait a minute. He's got Fearless. Oh, God. Gross. Okay. So, Fearless. Well, you perform a front arc primary attack. If the attack is range 1 and you are in the defender's forward arc, you may change one of your results, any result, to a hit. So that is now a hit. And we'll spend the focus. Okay. Yeah, I totally see the bring in Fearless on there. So he's lost his only focus. And Tycho has to defend against 4 dice. 4 hits, rather. Okay, there's 1, and then we'll use Elusive. Ooh, did he make it? No, he's still seeing 2 come through. What else has he got? Nothing. And he's sitting on 2 HP, so that gets him 2. Oh, man. Bad turn for the A-Wings. And he died stressed. Ah, as is the Tycho way. Okay. So that was my 4 Bosk. Let's see if he has a shot. He does on Sabine. Range 3 through a rock. We'll do it. So he's throwing 2 dice against her 5. For the focus. Oh god, 2 crits. Okay, so Sabine gets 3, plus 1 for the rock, plus 1 for range. Oh, not a great defensive roll, but she has the focus, which she has to spend, so. Because Bosk could kill her outright if she took both of these. So she loses the focus, but otherwise is okay. Which opens us up for our 3 Sabine doesn't have a shot. Afra does. Not obstructed. I believe that's range 2. Yeah, range 2. Comfortably. And we're going to do the usual Han focus, so stress and strain. Throw 3 dice against 3. Okay, go away. Ooh. And we are strained, so we can change one of these over. We don't have a lock, so it looks like that is just 2 hits. And Sabine is range 2, so she gets 3 evade dice. No focus anymore. 1 evade, so she takes a hit. And here's the thing. You probably have folks out there saying that you should take Beskar on Sabine. I honestly don't think so, because she's not pointing at the stuff that shoots her all that often. So I am iffy on that. So you have more situations exactly like this one than you will where Beskar will trigger. It's nice to have, but I kind of like the mobility I've got on her now. We'll see if it matters. Okay, so I believe that was all attacks. All told, Rebels got 3 objective points. 1, 2, 3. While Scum got 4 for Tycho. Well, wait a minute. They also got the 4 for Cad. I don't know if I already got that. I think I did. Okay. So 4 for Tycho and then 3 for Wedge. And an additional 2 objective points. Which I think gives Scum a pretty commanding lead at this point. It's not 20, is it? There's no way. Okay, we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Oh, wow. Okay, 18 points for Scum. I think I am going to go ahead and call it, because Boss can run over here and grab this. And then Scum would also retake this one, even if we don't do combat. So that it would be 4 points for Scum. And I don't see a way that Rebels could easily get kills to make up the difference. So there you have it. I flew that Rebel list horribly. So I don't really know that this necessarily taught me anything about it. I will have to run it again. I do really like the Scum list. Afra's really scary. The 2 rogues are fun pieces. They can take a hit, then push out some damage. I'll have to practice my Cad flying, my god. Because we did kind of just joust each other, and I came out on top in the joust, which was somewhat lucky. I also positioned the rocks poorly and deployed my ships poorly to fly them around the rocks, so those Rebels got kind of a raw deal. I'm going to reconsider some of the upgrades, I think, on the A-Wings, maybe a little bit, but I'll probably run both of these lists one more time as is. I have some in-person practice on Friday, which I'm looking forward to. But, yeah, so there it is. That's our practice game number 1 to kind of make sure we are flying lists that we like. Which I think I am. I really enjoy this. They have a lot of different variety of dials, different kind of strengths and weaknesses, and both offer a lot on objectives as well as combat output. So, that's it. Until next time.